Hello everybody, welcome to this instruction video. In this video I'd like to show you part 10 of Charlotte's Universe. In part 10 we're going to grow our blanket and make these lovely flower roses. You might remember them from Sophie's Universe. Charlotte's Universe has been designed by Deirdre Uys from Look at What I Made. In the video description you'll find a link to the pattern. I'll take you step by step through all the rows that make up part 10. For my blanket I'm using Scheepjes stone washed yarn in various colors. Which color I'm using when, you can find that on my blog, again a link in the video description. So let's get started with part 10. Round 90, I have a new color yarn on my hook. In this round we're going to be working back post stitches. I'm going to start in any chain 2 corner space with a half double, a standing half double. So I'm just going to yarn over and hold on to that, pick up a loop and take off all three. So that's a standing half double, followed by a second half double, chain 2 and 2 more half doubles in that same corner space. And that makes your first corner. So 2 half doubles, chain 2, 2 half doubles. For the straight edge we're going to work a back post double crochet on every stitch. So yarn over, especially around that first one. Be sure to really, that one's always just a little bit more tricky. And then comes the next. And then this is a slow round, all these back post stitches. So one at a time, back post double crochet on every stitch. And when you get to your corner, it's the same corner as we just worked. So 2 half doubles, chain 2 and 2 half doubles. And continue all the way around. So back post double crochet on every stitch. When you get to the first stitch, close on the standing half double with the slip stitch and you can leave your yarn attached. Round 91, currently in the first stitch of the previous round, and we're just going to start by slip stitching to the chain 2 corner space. So that means slip stitch in the next half double and then a slip stitch in the corner space. The corner is going to be 2 doubles, chain 2 and 2 doubles. Now the first double is a chain 3, followed by another double crochet, chain 2 and 2 more doubles. So 1 and 2. So that's your first corner, 2 doubles, chain 2 and 2 doubles. For the first straight edge we're going to skip the first stitch. It's that stitch there, we're going to skip that and start in the second, and then we work 5 doubles. So skipping this stitch, come to the second, and this is, so that's your first one, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 double crochets. We're now going to start a small repeat unit. That's going to be chain 3, skipping 3 stitches and then work 5 doubles again. So 1, 2, 3 chain stitches, then skip 3 stitches. So 1, 2, 3 skip and then work a double, and then this double is the first of 5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And this you're going to repeat until you have 7 stitches left. So again, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and then this double crochet here is again the first of 5. So I'm going to repeat this, so chain 3, skip 3 stitches and 5 doubles. Repeat that until you have 7 stitches left on your other side. So I've worked all of these repeats, and at this point there are 7 stitches left to the chain 2 corner space. See, here are the 5 doubles, then 7 empty stitches. We're going to do a chain 3, 1, 2, 3, then skip 3 stitches, and on the last 4 work a double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, skip, and then this is the first double. 1, 2, 3, and here's the last one, 4. So 4 doubles on those last stitches. And then you're to the corner again, and the corner is the same as the corner we started with. So that's 2 doubles, chain 2, and chain 2, and 2 more doubles, and then you're back where we started. So everything we've just done, you skip the first stitch, work 5 doubles, and then all of these chain spaces. Repeat that all the way around, and when you come back to the first stitch, which is going to be your chain 3, close on there with the slip stitch, and then you can also fasten off. Round 92. I have a new color yarn on my hook, and in this round we're going to be making the leaves for our flowers. We're going to start in any chain 2 corner space, and we're going to work a standing double crochet in there, which is the first stitch of the corner. That's the first double crochet, and now you're going to work 10 more in this same chain space. So I'm just going to move this stitch a bit to the side because I need to squish in 10 more. So yes, you heard that right. So you're going to have 11 double crochets here in total. So the first one, which was the standing one, and then 10 more. And I also did double read the pattern when I saw this the first time. Is that correct? Yes, it's correct. So I'm just going to work these doubles. So actually I'm just working quite a few, and then I'll count them, because as I'm talking to you I kind of lose count. Talking and counting together, that doesn't always work. Now let's see, where am I at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I need 2 more because I'm also counting the standing stitch. 1. You can see how I'm really squishing all of these stitches in there. So you've worked the standing double and then 10 more in that chain space. Well, now we're ready for the edge. We're going to skip the first 2 stitches, and if you look closely, it's this stitch here which is really falling underneath all those doubles, and the next stitch. So these 2 you're going to skip, then come to the 3rd stitch and work a single crochet in here, and also in the next 2. So you're going to work 3 singles. So you see you're skipping these first 2 and then work 3 single crochets, and you have 2 stitches left before the chain space. We're now going to work a little repeat that we're going to be doing until the other side. We're now going to be working our leaves, and I'm just going to open up this loop. What we're going to be doing is we're going to come down to these 3 stitches that we skipped, and we're going to, in the center stitch, work the leaves. So we're going to be skipping the chain space, and we're going to be working in front of the chain space. So in this stitch you're going to be making your leaves. Now what you're going to be doing, skipping these next 2 stitches and in front of the chain space come down to this indicated stitch and work a 3 treble bobble. What that means is yarn over twice, then come to this center stitch down here, and be sure that your chain space is to the back, so fold your work over if you need to, and then take off 2 loops, take off 2 loops. Now that's the first leg. Then stop, yarn over twice, and in the same stitch pick up a loop, take off 2, take off 2, and again yarn over twice in the same stitch, take off 2, take off 2. You have 4 loops on your hook, take them all off in one go. And all this time this chain space here is to the back, you're not working over it in any way. So this is your first leaf. Chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now in the same stitch where you just worked this 3 treble bobble, we're going to work another 3 treble bobble. So yarn over twice. So in that same stitch, and you might just have to push the first treble bobble a little bit to the side, take off 2, take off 2, yarn over twice again, and again. So you again have 4 loops on your hook, and take them all off in one go. So now you see you have these 2 leaves here. Going to come up to these 5 stitches here. You're going to skip the first 2, and in essence in the center stitch work a single crochet. So skipping those 2, come to the center and work a single, and that then just connects your leaves to your work. Well, this was the repeat. We're going to repeat this, and well, basically to the end. You'll have 3 stitches left before the corner. I'll show you these leaves again. So we're going to skip these 2 stitches, then come down to the center stitch that we skipped in the previous row. So yarn over twice, and then here in the middle stitch, again make sure your chain space is to the back. So 1, 2, and 3 legs, and take them all off. Chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and repeat. So yarn over twice every time because it's a treble bobble we're working, and it has 3 legs, hence the 3 treble bobble. And take them all off. Then again skipping 2 stitches here, so 1, 2, so it's a center stitch, work a single crochet. I've now done the repeat twice with you. Do this until you're to the other side. I'll see you when you've worked your last leaf on in your last in this last gap, when you're on the other side. That's the point where I'll see you back. I've just worked my last leaf here, see there, but I haven't done the single crochet yet, so I'm going to do that now. So I'm going to come back up and skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, skip, and then come here to the 3rd and work a single crochet. There you go. At this point you should have 3 stitches left until the corner. Going to work a single crochet on the next 2. That's 1 and 2. Going to skip this last stitch and then come to the corner. Rotate my work a bit. So skipping that last stitch, come to the corner and again work 11 double crochets. See, that's the first one, so you're skipping that last stitch. And then this is of course the same as the 11 that we started with right at the beginning. And everything that we've then just done, repeat this all the way around. I haven't worked 11 here yet, but you're going to work 11 and then you're going to start everything all over again. When you come back to the first stitch, that's going to be that standing double crochet. Close on that stitch with a slip stitch and also fasten off. Round 93, I have a new color yarn on my hook, and we're going to start on these 11 double crochets that you have in the corner. We're going to work a back post single crochet on all of these. I'm going to start with the first one. This here is the first one. That first one is of course a standing back post single crochet. So that's the first one. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to work one on every on all of them, so that's going to be 11. And this gives you a nice little edge here in the corner. Just going to work a back post single crochet on all of these, and this does not go insanely fast, so it's just, and there are quite a few stitches close together, so you might have to just rotate your work to really get around all of these posts, but it gives you such a nice little edge. And that last one here. So on all 11 of them you now have a back post single crochet. What you're going to do is just take a stitch marker, and we're just going to mark the 6th stitch, number 6. Let me just count. So this is the first one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This here is 6. In number 6, just pop a stitch marker, because this is your corner. So this marks the corner for future reference for the next rounds. So that was the corner stitch. What we're now going to do is we're going to be working roses. And before I actually get started, what we're going to do is we're going to be working only in the chain spaces from the last 2 rounds. So this chain 5 space and that chain 3 space. And we're going to work it like this. So what you're going to be doing is, if you have the chain 3 space here to the back, you've got the chain 5 to the front, just look at it, you're just going to pull your chain 3 space through the chain 5 space, and now you're ready to start working roses. A chain 4 to just get from rows to rows. So chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we're ready to start the first rows. And what we're going to do is, like I said, we're going to be pulling this chain 3 space through the chain 5 space, and then we're going to be working in front of the chain 5 space. Start by working in there 2 single crochets. I'm just going to hold on to that loop and work a single crochet in the chain space. So this is a chain 3 space, and we've got the chain 5 here to the back. So that was 1 single crochet. You're going to work 2 singles, followed by 2 half doubles. So everything here is in the same space. I'm just going to move the stitch to the side that I've got enough room. So 3 half doubles, 2, 3, and move a bit more because I need a bit more space, and now 3 double crochets, all in the same space. 1, 2, 3. 3 double crochets. We're now going to, I'm just going to take out the hook. I'm going to put my hook back in a moment. What we're going to do is we're going to come to the first single crochet. That's this one here, and in that stitch we're going to work a slip stitch. So with your yarn on your hook, you just fold your work, and you're going to be like making a little circle, and you need to find that stitch there, that first single crochet. There it is, that one. Insert your hook in there, and you'll have opened up this loop inevitably. So just close close your working loop, and now grab your yarn and make the slip stitch. There we go. And that kind of makes this little circle. This is the first part of the rose. The second part of the rose, you're going to come to the back here, because here at the back you've got the chain 5 space. We're now going to work in the chain 5 space. Start with a single crochet, so immediately in that space. So 1 single, followed by 1 half double, and now 3 double crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3 double crochets, and 1 more half double. So now you've worked the back of the rose. You're going to come back to the front here and come to the chain 3 space. So here's the little circle you've made. Here to the front, we're going to work 1 more single crochet in there, and that's going to like just bring everything together. And so I'm just going to like so. And what's important here is that you stay in front of the chain 5 space, so don't go like this all the way to the back. So in that chain 3 space, make sure your hook's in front of the chain 5, then grab your yarn and complete the single crochet. And then this entire thing is your rose. You're going to be making a lot of these. That was the first rose. Chain 4, and then we're going to do everything again. I will show you 1 more rows. So chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to make a rose here in the next set of 2 spaces, so these 2, and I will show you the rows again. So we're going to start by pulling the chain 3 space through the chain 5 space to bring it to the front. This is what we're going to start with. And now in here we work our first stitch. And that first stitch is going to be a single crochet. Actually 2 singles. 1, 2 singles. Let's move everything up because we need a few more stitches. 2 half doubles. Oh, sorry, 3 half doubles. 3, 1, 2, 3 half doubles, and then 3 double crochets also. 1, 2, 3. You might hear my cat pacing in the background. He's kind of annoyed because he wants to go outside, but I've got the door closed. I'm just going to open this loop to just make it easier for me, because we're going to come back to this very first single crochet. Just insert your hook in there. And now pull your working loop tight again and make a slip stitch. So grab your yarn and make a slip stitch. So that's the first little circle. Now come to the back. Here's the chain 5 space. We're now going to work in there. Work 1 single crochet, followed by a half double, followed by 3 double crochets. 1, and 2, 3, and another half double. Now again, come to the front, to the chain 3 space you have here, and work a single crochet. So folding your work over, and be sure to stay in front of the chain 5 space, work the single. And that's the second flower made. Chain 4 again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and now you're ready to work another rose in the next two chain spaces. So pulling the chain 3 space to the front, and you're ready to go. So I've worked 2 roses with you. You're going to repeat this in essence until you're to the other side. Continue like this, and then I'll see you back on the other side. Just one last tip. If you're going to be needing certain stitches in these flower petals later on. If you have difficulty identifying which stitch is which, you can mark the first of the 3 double crochets you have here to the back. You see, here's the single, that's the half double, and then these are the 3 double crochets. This first one, you can, if you want to, mark this stitch with a piece of scrap yarn or with a stitch marker if you have enough. I'm just going to pop a stitch marker in there. And do this on every rose. But this is only if you feel that you won't be able to identify them later on. So you see, here's the single, there's the half double, and here are the 3 double crochets. So I'm just going to pop a stitch marker into that first one. And continue like this on all of them. So you can also put a bit of yarn in here. There's a bit of a scrap yarn that you might have, because you're going to be using a lot of stitch markers. So if you don't have enough, a little bit of yarn will also work just fine. But you don't have to do this. This is just if you think, okay, I'm not going to be able to find that stitch easily. So you can just mark that stitch. But for now, continue and work your roses in every one of these spaces, starting with the single crochets, and then I'll see you back when you've completed your last rows on this edge. So I've just completed the last rows here. I've just worked that single crochet in the space here, and then you're finished this edge. I'm going to do another chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then skipping these stitches, come to the 11 double crochets in the corner and work a back post single crochet on all of them, and that gives you a nice little edge. So you see, that was the first one there. So work a back post single crochet on all. And again, these stitches are rather close together, so you'll just have to do one by one. So just around the posts from the back. You've worked many back post stitches already in this project, so a few more. And then again, number 6, you're going to just mark with a stitch marker. I'm just going to work all 11 of these, and then that center one, number 6, you're going to mark. And 2 more, just really around the corner here. I realize that might not have been very visible, but this was just 11 back post single crochets. And then mark stitch number 6. So here, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, number 6. So this one is halfway, and that's your new corner. And then you're ready for a next edge of roses with chain 4s in between. So go all the way around, and when you get back to your first stitch, that's going to be that first standing single crochet, close with the slip stitch and fasten off. Round 94, I have a new color yarn on my hook, and we're going to start in any marked corner stitch. And we're going to start in there with a standing half double crochet. Now this is the 6th stitch, so that stitch, standing half double. So yarn over, hold on to that, then in that stitch make a half double, chain 2, and I'm just going to remove the stitch marker, another half double in the same stitch, and that's your first corner made. For the straight edge, we're first going to be working here in the back post stitches. The first one gets a half double, then a single crochet in the next 3 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3. And here the last stitch, that last back post stitch, gets a half double again. There we go. We're now going to come here to the stitches that for me are here in the light green. These are the stitches from round 92. Going to be working in those stitches, and then it's important to keep this chain space to the back, and we're also not going to be working over it, so just ignore that chain space completely. I'm going to work a double crochet in these 3 singles. So here's the first single, and you see, just make sure that your chain space is to the back, so it can help to just hold it underneath your fingers. So that's 1, this is 2. See, I'm just pushing that chain space to the back. This is 2, and here is number 3. So a double crochet in those 3 singles, and your chain space here is to the back. Then a chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to use this to kind of bridge the gap to the next around the rows, because it's going to, yeah, we just do it like this for the moment, and we'll pop it to the back later on. You have a single crochet here between the leaves. We're going to be working in that single crochet. Work a single in there, and again be sure to keep your chain space here to the back. So that's a single, then a half double in that same stitch, and a double crochet in that same stitch. So 3 stitches in that one. You can see your chain space here is to the back, and it's not attached to your work in any way. We're now going to come to the next, well, not per se stitch, but actually this space. So I'm just going to open this up. If you look here, this is the stitch here, this flower, this leaf petal, that's the stitch. But we're not going to work into the stitch, but more like under it. So if you see, here's another loop, and if you actually look at it like this, you see there's a little gap there. So all those 3 loops you see there, we're going to be working our stitches like this. And we're going to be doing the same what we just did in reverse order, so a double, half double, single. So yarn over. So that means all these loops here, and be sure to keep that chain space to the back, that you don't work over that. And then that's a double followed by a half double and a single. There you go. Chain 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and come to the position between the next 2 roses, and here we're going to be doing the same we just did here. So first in the single crochet, a single, a half double. You see, I'm purposefully just pushing that chain there to the back. I'm just pushing it away, so then I can't accidentally work over it. So it's a single, half double, double, and then again here, like underneath the leaf. So you see you've got 3 loops there, so you're working underneath all of those, and that's then a double, half double, and a single crochet. And this makes these little scallops. And at this point the chain space is in front of the rows, so I'm just going to pop it the other way so that it's to the back. You can also do this later on, doesn't matter when you do that, so that your roses are to the front, because you really want them to be to the front of your work. Now I'm going to repeat this until you are at the point between the last 2 flower petals. So chain 4, and then come to here to the next 2 stitches and work these singles, half double, double, work them in those 2 positions. So chain 4, come to the next flower petal and work these 6 stitches. Repeat that until you have 1 row left. So I've just worked this last little shell here in front of the last rows. This is the point where I'm at now. So 1 row left and your corner stitches. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're just going to skip the last rows and then come to these stitches here, these 3 single crochets. We're going to work a double crochet on each of those. And again, be sure that your chain space here to the back, that you don't work over that. So that's 1, 2, 3 single crochet stitches, and I'm just going to pop my last rows through the chain space. There we go. We're now going to come to the back post stitches here, those back post stitches, and in the first one we work a half double, and this stitch can be hard to find. If you look here, if you pull this open, you see there's a little stitch. I'm just going to insert my hook here. Here's a stitch. That's the one that you're going for. And we want a half double in that stitch. Like I said, it's because it's immediately adjacent to the chain space, it kind of disappears, but there's a stitch there. So here, that stitch gets a half double, then a single crochet in the next 3. So 1, 2, 3, and then a half double in the next again, and then the next stitch should be your marked stitch, and this stitch gets your corner, half double, chain 2 and a half double. So half double, chain 2 and a half double, and then that's your new corner made. I'm just going to remove the stitch marker because I don't need it right now. And if this corner doesn't match up with your marked stitch, it most likely went wrong here with that very first half double. Well, and that was the entire edge. Do everything 3 more times and close on your first standing half double with a slip stitch. Round 95, I'm going to continue in the same color. And we're just going to start by moving with the slip stitch to the chain 2 corner space. Just the 1 slip stitch. There you go. The corner is going to be a single, chain 2 and a single. Chain 1. Now this does not count as a stitch, it's just to get you up. Then in the corner space work a single crochet, chain 2 and another single. And that's the first corner made. The straight edge. I'm going to start by working a single in the first 9 stitches. And especially this first one here, this half double, can be hard to get into. So you just move your stitches to the side. That's the first stitch. There. And so I just need to get into it. This stitch is a little tricky. That's the first stitch there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So 9 single crochets on those 9 stitches. Now what's really important, if you haven't done that yet, make sure you've moved the chain spaces from the previous round behind your roses. If you haven't done that yet, do that now before continuing. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be working into the roses. Now remember when we made them, I told you you could, if you want to, mark the first of the 3 double crochets that are here on the back. This is the stitch that I've marked on these roses here. Now if you haven't done that, it's not the end of the world, then just have a look at your stitches. You see, here's the single crochet. There's kind of like a little bit on the edge, that's a single. Then you'll have the half double, and then you'll have the double crochet. So that's the stitch we're going for. So if you have 1, 2, 3 doubles, that first double, then you've got another half double there. So this is the stitch we're going to be working on all of those, all of the roses. Now to start, chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, and then come to this first rose, and this is the marked stitch. On that stitch we're going to work a back post single crochet. Now I'm just going to remove the marker because that's just going to be easier for me. So here's the single, there's the half double, and here's the first double. Then around that double crochet, so back post single. Grab your yarn and complete the stitch. So it kind of rolls this stitch a little bit over and connects your work to the rose petal. Chain 3 again. 1, 2, 3. And now you're going to come to this little shell here, and exactly in between the 2 doubles, so that's right in the center, we're going to work a single crochet. So you see here are 3 stitches and there are 3 stitches, so exactly here in the middle. So it's not in any stitch, but really between 2 stitches. Going to work a single crochet. And then again chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then again work a back post single on this first of the 3 double crochets of the rose petal. Now remove the marker. So here's the single, there's the half double, then here's the double. So around that stitch from the back, back post single. And this is the repeat. So starting here at this, from the back post single, so it says chain 3, this single crochet, chain 3, and then that back post single. So I'll show you again. 1, 2, 3, chain. Here's your next little shell. Here are 3 stitches. There are 3 stitches right in the middle between the 2 doubles, so really like in the middle between them. Just open them up, that gap there. Set your hook and work the single. And then again chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Come to the next rows, and again in that same stitch. So here's the single, there's the half double, and here's the first double from the back. Back post single. You can see the little stripe there from the stitch that you just made. Continue this until you're at the last rose petal. So when you work that back post single on the very last rose, then I'll see you back. Just in the last rows before the corner space, in the back post single crochet on that first of the 3 doubles. And now we have just a few more stitches left. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then come here to the double crochet here. This is the first of 9 stitches. We're going to work a single crochet on all of those. You've got here the first double. This is where your first single goes. So that's 1. I'm going to work 1 on each stitch. 2, 3, and that should be 9, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and here's the last one, 9 single crochets. Next stitch should be your corner stitch, and that gets a single, chain 2, and another single. There you go. And that's your next corner made. Everything you just done, repeat on your next 3 edges and close on your first single, so not the chain one, but the single crochet that's at the beginning with the slip stitch. Round 96, currently in the first single crochet from the previous round. I'm just going to slip stitch to the corner, chain 2 space. Right. The corner of this round is 2 doubles, chain 2 and 2 doubles. Now the first double is a chain 3, followed that by a second double crochet in the same corner space, chain 2 and 2 more doubles in the same space, 1 and 2. So that's the first corner, 2 doubles, chain 2 and 2 doubles. For the straight edge, I'm going to skip the first stitch, that's that little single crochet there, and then come to the second, and then we're going to work a double crochet on there. So skip this stitch, come to the second, work a double, and then that's the first of 9. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 double crochets. What we're going to do is we're going to be working in the chain spaces and around the single crochets. I'm going to start by making in the first chain space here, work 3 double crochets in there. That's 1, 2, 3. So 3 single crochet, 3 double crochets in the chain space. This single crochet, work a front post double around that. Front post double around the single. And this you're going to repeat until you're at the last chain space. So that means again 3 doubles in the chain space, so 1, 2, 3, and then a front post double around the next single, and the single in this case is going to be here, the one that's here in the middle, and that means just scooping around the stitch. I work a front post double, and this so I now work the repeat twice with you. You're going to do quite a few more, so every chain space gets 3 double crochets, and every single crochet gets a front post double, and the one time it's going to be around the rose and the other time is going to be here around the shell. So continue like this, and then I'll see you back when you're at the very last flower, then when you've done that back post double, the front post double. So I'm almost to the other side. Here I've worked 3 doubles in the chain space, and I worked the front post double around that single crochet. And at this point you should have 1 chain space left. Now in that last chain space, make 3 double crochets. So that's 1, 2 and 3. You have 10 stitches into the chain space. On each of those 10 stitches, work 1 double crochet. So the first one till we get to the corner space. So in this round we're really just filling in space behind the flowers and just getting our stitch count nice and even again. So this is like when you've done a coloring page and you've colored the flowers and the leaves, and now you're doing the background. So, and one more stitch. That's 10 double crochets. Next up is the corner, and this is the same as the corner we started with. So 2 doubles, chain 2 and 2 doubles. There we go. And now we're at the same point we started. So go all the way around, do all these stitches, all your chain spaces. Then when you're at the beginning, there's going to be that chain 3. Close on that with a slip stitch. When you've gone all the way around, you've finished part 10. I'm going to just leave my yarn attached. I've got a stitch marker in here for the next part, for part 11. So it brings us to the end of this video. Hope to see you again soon for the next part.